anyway, she said Roger Clinton was the one heading up the White Rabbit distribution. You ever hear it called White Rabbit because it's something with the molecule?
I've heard of that. Well, it's based on the skeleton formula, which is like when you actually draw the indole out on adrenochrome, it kind of looks like a rabbit. There's also the Monsters Inc. soccer ball connection, because if you look at, have you heard about this one before? If you look at the skeleton formula for adrenochrome, you can overlay on top of a soccer ball, where the soccer ball's got the hexagon and the pentagon.
Here's a picture I found comparing adrenochrome's engram or molecular structure or whatever. I don't know if you guys remember that old app iFunny that used to have all the memes, but strangely enough, it had a picture I found that was making this connection. When I was a kid, I used that app all the time. That honestly was peak memes because they were consolidated in one place. There's some good stuff now, I'm sure. I'm just not going out of my way to find it. These clips are pretty interesting though, and they do a good job of pointing out something deeper that Kurt has been trying to get across when he says they use all parts of the buffalo, or has mentioned that adrenochrome is low tier. Let's keep going.
So that actually makes the exact same formula. And in the opening scene of Monsters Inc., which is the movie where they harvest fear from children into these little canisters called Scream, which then power the rest of the elite city. But that in that very first scene, there's a soccer ball under the bed where the monster comes out to scare the kids. So that one also gets brought up as the rabbit / soccer ball. Some of these are a little bit of a big stretch. However, the rabbit one I've come around on because, again, all of the original adrenochrome research from the 1930s all came out of rabbit experimentation. So there is an interesting rabbit connection to adrenochrome.
That's creepy. Anyway, I've just been told by several people that that's not that big of a deal and that there's much more sought after shit. And I suspect the Playboy Mansion thing where they were drawing people's blood at pig night, one of my favorite stories I've ever heard of pig night. You go in there and you can raw dog the pigs. You know, they're not bunnies. It's pig night. And you go through your underground tunnel which are real. The tunnels of the mansion, you can fuck whores that way without being seen. That's, you know. So, and then there's still that kind of shit all the time. Anyway, it's in Newsweek. You can find it, the article about what a piece of shit Hugh Hefner was, you know, because he's Epstein. Okay. All of a sudden he's dead now. So now we give a shit that he was a pimp.
Well, and this was connected to...
Excuse the old channel branding, but this is one of the early clips I found on the main channel that was removed from YouTube, where Kurt and Duncan Truss will go into more detail about pig night. As in the prior clip, they go off on another topic before getting to these details. And as quickly as possible, check out the description if you want to support me making this content.
So all these people who sent their fucking swabs to 23andMe are now getting all of their DNA connected to their name, connected to like who they are, sold to some unknown company.
Okay, you used to have to go to a Hugh Hefner pig night on Thursdays at the mansion underground and have your blood drawn while you fuck. They have someone called the shit. I told Dave Lucas, I can't remember. Anyway, dressed like a nurse, you're fucking, draws your blood, supposedly makes you come harder. I had to look it up. Yeah, Newsweek didn't explain why you would do this. Oh, the bleeder.
Wow, the bleeder.
The bleeder comes around, and this is where Cosby used to go, just in case you're wondering where he got weird. The bleeder comes around, and while you're at so they'd have escorts that they tested. The bleeder. Yeah, but it's pig night, not bunny night. Pig night.
What's the diff?
Really important people can take the tunnel is for important people can fuck some whores on Thursday with nobody knowing.
I see.
And this is in Newsweek. Like when he died, they wrote a whole thing about it. And I'm like reading this, like, I never heard of this.
Never heard of Pig Week.
Pig night. Thursday night
pig night.
Remember, Thursday night's pig night.
Pig night.
And so you be all these politicians and all the people that show up at the parties you hear about over and over and over again, but you just put it out of your mind because you're a cow. And anyway, not you, but you know what I'm saying.
I know you mean.
So then there you go. Insiders describe pig night. Now,
Hefner's former valet reflects on pig nights.
Oh, it's a night for America.
I remember pig night.
Yeah, go ahead, look at it. And like, I tell people shit and they think I'm like making it up.
On certain nights, Mr. Hefner had prostitutes brought up to the mansion. He'd entertain them with a big dinner and invite his friends to come and participate in different intimate acts with him. It was called Pig Night.
His infamous pig night.
Sometimes the women had penises, and Hefner didn't want to be involved with that. Although some of the other guys,
I thought you were being funny.
no,
That's what it says.
yeah, sometimes the women had penises, and Hefner didn't want to be involved with that. Although some of the other guests, especially John Belushi, they didn't mind. Hugh, most of the time, never had sex with women.
Wait, what do you mean he didn't mind? So he's sitting there like the whore comes over, oh, you have a penis here. I'll just move that out of the way.
He did.
So what connection is sort of missing here is that every emotion or feeling that you have is caused by some expression of hormones or chemicals in the body and brain that makes it into your blood. So basically, whatever pleasure hormones or endorphins or chemicals or whatever are going on when they're going buck crazy, as a certain guy would say, is in the blood the bleeder is collecting. So is that part of the higher tier human-made drug list above adrenochrome? I think this is where he keeps trying to go, but it's just a thought nonetheless. What do you think?
Anyway, adrenochrome, from what I understand, have you heard anything else about this? That's just one of many things you harvest out of people. And this is an avenue I got to research more, but I think it's the most interesting thing I've ever heard is generational funeral home families. A good place to look about for that kind of shit. You know?
Well, so
Names you never heard
I've been trying to source adrenochrome for the last couple of years now, and I've got a lot of offers on the table, but unfortunately, it doesn't really come from my understanding. It doesn't come from funeral homes. Doesn't come from torturing people. But you were talking about like these high end like apothecary sort of. I think that exists, right? There's someone out there that might spend $8,000 on a hamburger because it's got like gold crusting and they use the blood of like a virgin pigeon or something.
This confused me at first. The way he said he didn't think it came from what sounded like, I guess, what you could consider more ethical sources like funeral homes or whatever versus torturing children. But then he also talked about a super special apothecary, and at first I was thinking like someone using natural ingredients like you typically hear in the past. So they'd still be using humans, but I bet he means a chemist that synthesizes the stuff. But I do believe probably the worst version does exist somewhere today, like it always has in stories all throughout antiquity.
Like
Yeah,
Gold
exactly.
Schlager to me, but
Or
The real
also
thing-
like ornament bunting, where the people will deep fry an entire bird and then like eat the whole thing whole,
Right.
just because it's a status symbol more than anything else. And it's a French delicacy, but they basically overfeed it on champagne and they deep fry it, and you just eat the entire thing whole. The point being is that it's not because it tastes great. It's not because this is like a delicacy that people want. It's just this weird status symbol. And for the same reason, you might have someone out there that is doing the Hunter S. Thompson Satanist version of adrenochrome, where they're extracting it in the most nefarious way possible, and they're selling it to people, and they're doing
Lake
it.
Havasu, buddy. You ever hear about Lake Havasu yet in your travels? So Peru, you get a lot of good specimens from Peru. That's Amaru, their god. That's America.
Yeah, Amaria.
The plumed serpent land we live in, Amaruca. So they traffic kids from there, specifically Peru, and it's because they got the blood of kings in them or some shit. And they had and the people doing this, they got levels. There's silver, gold, copper. So you like if you were in like a hair club for
Reward
men,
plan.
yes, yeah, and
I don't know if you could hear the last thing he just said, but he said it's like a rewards card, which is super creepy to think human trafficking goes so deep they have rewards tiers. But hey, anyways, that's about all for this fan-made short. If you'd like to help me out on this journey while I sail through these rough waters, check out the links in the description and stay tapped in. I'll see you next time.
Nathan Reynolds, I tell people to watch all the time because I think that guy spilled the beans on a lot of shit. And unlike many people, you can't even find him if you wanted to give a guy money or something. He's always off the grid. A lot of people name names, okay, and you'd be surprised. I know I am.